a second group hacks into the security cameras near a mansion. Sniper Rickles positions himself on the roof. Soon, they receive the signal the target has left. Abigail, meanwhile, is being driven home by her personal chauffeur. As they travel, Joey and his two accomplices break into the mansion. Inside the bedroom, the woman realizes the target is a young child, but it's too late to back out, as no one in the gang shows weakness. When Abigail returns, the kidnappers strike. Unfazed, she stabs Frank's arm with a pencil and screams for help. She's swiftly grabbed by the towering Peter, who lifts her off the ground as she gasps, "I can't breathe." Her partner injects her with a sedative. The gang then stuffs her body into a bag just as the father's motorcade arrives. The team exits through the back, taking the sniper with them on the way out. Despite the lights being on, they reach the gate where a van is waiting. The next challenge is to get out of the city. On the road, Joey checks Abigail's pulse, steady and calm, before blindfolding her. Hacker Sammy directs him to turn left to disable the cameras, but the driver instead veers right, hiding behind a truck. The team arrives at a lavish country estate, where they're greeted by Lambert, a former gang leader who has fallen from grace. He invites the mercenaries inside and orders them to place the girl in a bedroom while the sniper prepares a position on the roof for potential intruders. Lambert explains the rules. They are all strangers to each other, using code names, and there are 24 hours to complete the job before they each receive $7 million. The key is ensuring the girl remains unharmed while he negotiates the ransom. Joey is tasked with contacting the girl to ensure her identity remains hidden. To prevent being tracked, Lambert confiscates their phones and hums a song as he leaves. The mercenaries eagerly indulge in the free alcohol as they wait. The driver, Dean, takes pride in his ability to see through people, offering detailed insights into the personalities of his accomplices. Joey disagrees, and a bet is proposed. She will accurately guess the past of each colleague for money. The woman begins by revealing Frank's past, a former cop, not just a patrolman but a detective. She continues, explaining that Peter, the hulking man from Quebec, was once a victim of bullying, and as he grew older, he turned to fighting as a profession. Sammy, the hacker, is a spoiled rich girl who enjoys breaching computer networks for fun. Sniper Rickles, a former Marine, and the driver, Dean, is a sociopath. In retaliation, Frank insults her, claiming she's a former drug addict. He explains that as a cop, he could easily identify addicts, long sleeves hiding puncture marks, and an affinity for lollipops, a method to keep her mind distracted. He also notes that she avoids alcohol to steer clear of temptation. With her collar turned up over her face, the woman checks on Abigail. She asks her to remove the blindfold and retie the handcuffs in front of her, not behind her back. The girl is terrified, tears running down her face. To ease her anxiety, Joey swears on his little fingers that no one will harm her. Abigail, still crying, asks if Joey has children. She admits that she has a son, but prefers not to talk about him. Abigail then reveals that her father doesn't care for her anymore, that he is simply tired of her. This frightens Joey, especially when Abigail adds that she regrets what is about to happen to her. Abigail asks Frank if he knows whose daughter they have taken. Despite his long-standing friendship with Lambert, Frank has no idea. The man storms over to the girl, holding a gun to her, and demands to know who her father is. When Frank discovers they have kidnapped the daughter of a powerful mafia boss, he starts to panic and wants out of the operation. The gang persuades him to stay, promising the $7 million each, and reminding him that there are only 22 hours remaining to wait. Frank reluctantly agrees and orders the team to prepare for defense. As the tension rises, Frank knows that if everything he's heard about Lazar is true, their location could be compromised at any moment. While wandering the mansion, Joey encounters Rickles. When she reveals that she used to be a military nurse, he proposes a deal. They will cover each other's backs, wary of trusting the rest of the group. Dean is in the room talking to the hacker Sammy, but she chases him away. Disappointed, he walks around the house, drawing a lewd picture on the sleeping Peter's face. While exploring the mansion, he finds an ancient fresco depicting a little girl who looks very much like a prisoner. When Dean goes down to the storeroom, he comes across rats, and when he tries to leave, something grabs him and drags him into the darkness. Sammy hears the boy screaming and goes to check on him. Later, she finds Dean in the kitchen, but when she gets closer, she sees that his head is missing, and it falls right into her hands. At the scream of the frightened girl, the big man Peter comes running and calls for the others. The frightened criminals, gathered in a circle, realize that the atmosphere in the house is simply unbearable. They wonder who could have done it and why. The legend of a criminal named Valdez, who works for Lazar, comes to mind. Allegedly, when 3 mafiosi were caught by the FBI, they agreed to testify. Valdez broke into the guarded floor and killed them, leaving them all beheaded. In all this, none of the agents saw or heard anything. Assuming that Valdez has come for the girl, Joey offers to check on her. As they climb the stairs, the gangsters wonder how the killer found them, because he either followed Lambert or one of them is Valdez. After making sure that Abigail is there, Rickles suggests that they escape while they are still alive, but the front door is locked with a steel grate. When Peter tries to kick it down, the security shutters come down on the windows, trapping the criminals. Rickles checks his post and discovers that the rifle has been stolen. Joey goes to see Abigail to find out if her father's hired gun has been to see her. The girl confesses that Frank said he was Valdez. Joey says it's Frank's fault, and they decide to attack him, going around on both sides. Hearing a noise, Joey turns around and sees a Marine with his face and throat torn open. Going down to the ground floor to find Frank, she holds him at gunpoint, accusing him of murder. But thanks to a tactical deception, the former cop distracts her attention and draws his weapon himself. When Joey finds out that Rickles is dead and that Frank is the killer, he assumes that Abigail deceived the woman in an attempt to split the gangsters. Frank orders Peter to eliminate the girl while he and Joey have a Mexican duel. The giant goes up to the bedroom, forcing the woman to run after him and break his arm. They are joined by Frank and Sammy. The situation is tense, and none of the adults, except for the hacker, notice how little Abigail is released from her handcuffs. The captive strikes a pose before showing her true colors. She jumps at Peter, trying to bite him, but Frank's well-aimed shot stops her. Abigail gets up, despite the shot, and attacks her captors. She ignores the bullets fired at point-blank range, and only the timely closing of the door saves the bandits. Realizing that Abigail is a vampire, the criminals try to figure out how to get rid of her. Interrupting Peter's hysteria, Frank proposes to kill the girl. Sammy looks for garlic in the kitchen, and Peter breaks billiard cues to make homemade steaks. Joey thinks the plan is ridiculous, assuming that Abigail had foreseen this turn. When they arrive at the room, they see that the girl is not there. She has already moved to the top floor and is dancing to music with somebody. The criminals attack her, but they can't do anything because the vampire is too fast and agile. She is not afraid of garlic, and with Peter's cross, she pierces his chest. Intercepting Frank's attack, Abigail stakes his leg, and the adults retreat. The nurse treats her colleague's wounds and then suggests an alternative way: to inject Abigail with the sedative that was injected into her during the kidnapping. To find the girl, the criminals split into groups. Sammy finds a coffin-like chest with old junk inside. After getting lost in the cobwebs, she falls into a pool filled with rotten corpses. She gets out of the pool, scaring the others with her scream. Joey runs to the rescue when he hears Peter's scream in his headphones. He checks the sharpness of the stick and injures his finger. After that, Abigail appears, forcing Peter to run for his life. The girl chases him, leaping over the obstacles with ease before Frank opens the door and pushes his colleague over the railing. Abigail turns her attention to Frank, throwing him down the stairs. As the girl bends over her victim, Joey attacks her, but she counters by throwing a syringe. As she tries to retrieve it, Abigail bites Sammy and levitates Frank into the air. Peter arrives just in time to hold the girl down, allowing Joey to inject her with a sedative. The criminals lock Abigail in the elevator. When she comes to, she calls them by name. It turns out that she had lured them in on purpose to take revenge. Each of them had once harmed her father. Frank arrested his subordinates, and Joey was unable to carry out a clandestine operation because of anesthesia. Peter and Sammy stole from the syndicate from a front company, and they're not the first victims, because others are lying in the pool. This is how the girl has fun. Abigail offers a deal. Whoever releases her will be spared. Peter agrees, but Joey wounds him to change his mind. Leaving Frank to guard the prisoner, the girls go to treat the big man's wound. The vampire offers the cop a new deal. She will tell him about a secret exit from the mansion if he lets her out. When Frank finds out about the exit in the library, he says that he tricked her, but the girl was expecting it. She breaks the cage with a powerful punch and attacks the man. Joey manages to break the closed window, and the vampire's hand explodes from the sunlight. While Abigail regenerates, the people flee. In the library, Frank is looking for a secret exit, but it turns out that the girl has tricked him. Sammy suggests finding the house's power source and hacking into it to open the defense mechanisms. The criminals go off in pairs to search for her. In the process, the hacker, bitten by a vampire, hears Abigail's voice and sees the bite heal. Turning into a vampire under Abigail's control, Sammy attacks Peter, tearing him apart. She then lures Joey and Frank into a trap. They notice their colleague's strange behavior and run back to the library, where they use the reflected sunlight to tear her apart. Suddenly, a secret passage opens up, and the survivors follow a secret corridor that leads to the observation room. There they are, met by Lambert, whom Abigail turned into a vampire. He helped her for many years, but now he wants to get rid of her. Lambert offers Frank a deal. He will turn him into a vampire to take over Lazar's criminal empire. With no other options, Frank agrees. Lambert bites him and gives him a drink of his blood. Soon Frank regains consciousness, and Lambert offers him Joey as his first meal, but is stabbed in the back for his betrayal. Having eliminated his partner, Frank threatens Joey. Abigail's appearance changes the situation. She attacks the cop, but he intercepts the attack and drinks her blood. Scared, Joey presses the button to disable the defense and runs away. Frank throws Joey down, where she is caught by Abigail. To kill a vampire, you need to suck out all the blood. The girl proposes a military alliance. She will let Joey go if he helps her defeat a common enemy. The two of them attack the newly minted vampire. Joey reminds him that drinking blood is a woman's prerogative. Frank successfully resists them, breaking the girl's bones with a powerful throw, and Joey ties her up. Abigail continues to fight, but he bites her again and drinks her blood. Frank then takes Joey down and bites her to turn her into a vampire. He tells her to take a stick and destroy the girl. Joey gets up and walks towards the exhausted vampire, but at the last moment she tries to stab the man, but Frank pushes her away. Seizing the moment, Abigail picks up a wooden stick and tries to stab Frank. The two of them manage to do it. After that, Frank magically breaks into pieces. Abigail calms Joey down and tells him that being bitten by a dead Frank won't turn her into a vampire. The woman wants to leave, but the girl's father, Lazar, appears. He intends to drink Joey's blood, but Abigail gets between them. The girl tells him that Joey saved her life. Lazar kisses Joey's hand and tells her to leave and never come back. The woman goes outside, gets into a van, takes out her favorite candy, and, enjoying its taste, drives away.